Problem 5 on 1D bar using elimination approach. See the problem. Consider the bar shown in figure. Using elimination method of handling boundary condition, determine the following. First one, nodal displacement. Second one, stress in the element. Third one, reaction forces. Take Young's modulus E is equal to 200 GPa. This is the figure given in the problem. The problem is from VTU question paper, that is VTU June-July 2014. See here, the bar is made up of two different steps or two different cross section. The cross section areas are given. First step, the cross section area is 150 mm square. Second step, the cross section area is 240 mm square, and lengths of both the sections are given. Here both ends of the bars are fixed and it is subjected to two loads, 10 kN acting in the positive x direction, 20 kN acting in the negative x direction. Now the solution. We know the first step, the discretization of the given continuum. See here the bar is made up of two different steps, but for finite element model you have to use three elements because there is a load of 10 kN at the center of the section 1. That's why we have to create one node here. Means you have to use two elements for first section and one element for section. Therefore you have to use three elements, 1D bar elements, for the discretization of the given continuum. Okay, now we will write the FE model. This is element number 1, which represents this portion. This is element number 2, which represents this portion. Element number 3, it represents this portion. Now I will give the node numbering 1, 2, 3, 4. Now in this FE model there are 3 elements and 4 nodes. Next we will consider the nodal forces. F1 at node number 1, F2 at node number 2, F3 at node number 3 and F4 at node number 4. Next, the nodal displacements. At node number 1 I will take the nodal displacement as Q1, and at node number 2 I will take the nodal displacement as Q2. At node number 3 I will take the nodal displacement as Q3, and at node 4 the nodal displacement is Q4. So this is the finite element model of the given figure. So the first step is over, discretization of the given continuum. Next is elemental stiffness matrix. Elemental stiffness matrix. Since here there are 3 elements, we will get 3 elemental stiffness matrix. We know the formula for elemental stiffness matrix. K is equal to AE by L, 1 minus 1 minus 1 1. Now for first element, for element 1, K is equal to the area of first section, it is 150 mm square. Young's modulus is same for all the section. Length of first section is 75 mm. So I will substitute the value. Area 150 mm square into Young's modulus 200 gigapascal. Here since the length is in mm, you have to write the Young's modulus also in Newton per mm square. 200 gigapascal is 200 into 10 power 3 Newton per mm square divided by the length. Length is 75. 1 minus 1 minus 1 1. If you simplify this, we will get K1 is equal to 10 to the power of 5 outside, inside is 4 minus 4 minus 4, 4. Now see the FE model. Here the element 1, it connects node number 1 to 2. That's why here in the elemental stiffness matrix for element 1, I will give the node numbering 1, 2, 1, 2. Next is elemental stiffness matrix for second element. For element 2, K2 is equal to area, it is again 150 into Young's modulus 200 into 10 power 3 divided by the length, again it is 75. 1 minus 1 minus 1 1, or K2 is 10 to the power of 5 outside, 4 minus 4 minus 4, 4. Now see the FE model. Second element. See, second element connects node number 2 and 3. Therefore, in the elemental stiffness matrix of second element, I will give the node numbering 2, 3, 2, 3. Because the second element connects node number 2 to 3. Next is elemental stiffness matrix for element number 3. For element 3, we have K3 is equal to area, it is 240 mm square, Young's modulus 200 gigapascal, 200 into 10 power 3, by the length, it is 60 mm. 1 minus 1 minus 1 1. Now if we simplify this, we will get K3 is equal to 10 to the power of 5 outside, 8 minus 8 minus 8, 8. Now see the FE model. Element number 3, it connects node number 3 and 4. That's why in the elemental stiffness matrix for element 3, I will give the number 3, 4, 3, 4. Next is global stiffness matrix. Global corresponding to 3 and 1. See the elemental stiffness matrix of first element. Here we don't have any element corresponding to 3 and 1. Similarly, in the elemental stiffness matrix of 2 and 3, we don't have any element corresponding to 3 and 1. Therefore, here in the global stiffness matrix, the element corresponding to 3 and 1 is 0. Next, element corresponding to 4 and 1. See the elemental stiffness matrix of first element. Here we don't have any element corresponding to 4 and 1. Next, in the elemental stiffness matrix of second element and third element, here also we don't have any element corresponding to 4 and 1. Therefore, here 0. We know the properties of stiffness matrix. It is a symmetric matrix. Therefore, here I can write -4, 0, 0. Next, here we need the element corresponding to 2 and 2. See the elemental stiffness matrix of first element. Here the element corresponding to 2 and 2 is 4. Again, in the second elemental stiffness matrix, the element corresponding to 2 and 2 is 4. But here in K3, we don't have any element corresponding to 2 and 2. Therefore, the element corresponding to 2 and 2, it becomes 8. Next, we need element corresponding to 3 and 2. If you see the elemental stiffness matrix of first element, here we don't have any element corresponding to 3 and 2. See here the element corresponding to 3 and 2, it is -4. But in K3 we don't have any element corresponding to 3 and 2. Therefore, the element corresponding to 3 and 2 is -4. Next, we need element corresponding to 4 and 2. Here we don't have any element corresponding to 4 and 2. Here also in the elemental stiffness matrix of element 2, we don't have any element corresponding to 4 and 2. And also in K3, we don't have any element corresponding to 4 and 2. Therefore, here I will get 0. Since it is a symmetric matrix, I can write here -4, 0. Next, we need the element corresponding to 3 and 3. See the elemental stiffness matrix of element 1. Here we don't have any element corresponding to 3 and 3. See the elemental stiffness matrix of second element. Here the element corresponding to 3 and 3 is 4. And in K3, the element corresponding to 3 and 3 is 8. So we have to add this 4 and 8. So 4 plus 8, it becomes 12. So here the element corresponding to 3 and 3 is 12. Next, we need element corresponding to 4 and 3. See the elemental stiffness matrix of first element. Here we don't have any element corresponding to 4 and 3. Also in the elemental stiffness matrix of second element, we don't have any element corresponding to 4 and 3. But here in K3, we have element corresponding to 4 and 3, it is -8. So therefore, element corresponding to 4 and 3 is -8. Due to symmetry, I can write here -8. Next, element corresponding to this 4 and 4. See in elemental stiffness matrix of first element, we don't have any element corresponding to 4 and 4. Also in K2, we don't have any element corresponding to 4 and 4. But in K3, we have element corresponding to 4 and 4, it is 8. Therefore, in the global stiffness matrix, the element corresponding to 4 and 4 is 8. So this is the global stiffness matrix. Next is global displacement vector. Global displacement vector. It is Q is equal to Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4. Next, global force vector. Global force vector, or it is also called as global load vector. That is F is equal to F1, F2, F3, F4, which is equal to F1 means it is the applied load at node number 1. If you see the figure here, at node number 1 we don't have any applied load, means F1 is 0. F1 is equal to 0. Next we need F2 means applied load at node number 2. See the figure here, we have a load of 10 kilonewton which acts in the positive x direction, means at node number 2 the F2 or applied load is 10 kilonewton. It is plus 10 kilonewton because it acts in the positive x direction. So F2 is 10 kilonewton, 10 into 10 power 3. Next we need F3 means applied load at node number 3. See the figure here, at node number 3 we have a load of 20 kilonewton which acts in the negative x direction. So it is taken as minus 20 kilonewton, means load acting at node number 3 is minus 20 kilonewton. F3 is minus 20 into 10 power 3. F4 applied load at node number 4. See the figure here, we don't have any force, means load acting at node number 4, F4 is 0. F4 is 0. This is the force vector or load vector. Next is equilibrium condition. Equilibrium condition, that is K into Q is equal to F. Here in the global stiffness matrix we have not taken this 10 power 5 outside, we have 10 power 5 outside. Global stiffness matrix is 10 power 5 outside, 4 minus 4 0 0 minus 4 0 0, 8 minus 4 0 minus 4 0, 12 minus 8 minus 8 8. This is K into Q, that is to 0, means we know the boundary condition at node number 1 and 4. Now according to the elimination method of handling boundary condition, we can eliminate the corresponding rows and columns. Since we know the boundary condition at node number 1, we can eliminate first row, first column. Similarly, since we know Q4, we can eliminate fourth row, fourth column. Since Q1 is equal to Q4 is equal to 0, eliminating corresponding rows and columns. Since Q1 is equal to 0, means displacement at node number 1 is equal to 0, we will eliminate first row, first one. Similarly, Q4 is 0 means displacement at node number 4 is 0. Therefore, I can eliminate 4th row, 4th column. Now the equilibrium equation reduces to 10 power 5, 8 minus 4 minus 4, 12 into Q2, Q3 is equal to 10 into 10 power 3 minus 20 into 10 power 3. This is the equilibrium equation after applying the known boundary condition. Now multiply the matrix. 8 into Q2 minus 4 into Q3 is equal to 10 into 10 power minus 2. Means I have taken this 10 power 5 to the right hand side. It becomes 10 power minus 5. Into this 10 power 3, it becomes 10 power minus 2. Similarly, minus 4 into Q2 plus 12 into Q3 plus 12 into Q3, which is equal to minus 20 into 10 power minus 2. Now if we solve these two equations, we will get Q2 is equal to 5 into 10 power minus 3 mm and Q3 is equal to minus 0.015 mm. This is the answer, means displacement at node number 2 and displacement at node number 3. Next we need stress in each element. Stress in each element. So for element 1, stress sigma 1 is equal to E by L, it is E1 by L1 minus 1 1 Q1 Q2. If you substitute the value, E is 200 into 10 power 3 by L, it is 75 minus 1 1, Q1 is 0, Q2 is 5 into 10 power minus 3. So if you simplify this, you will get sigma 1 is equal to 13.3 Newton per mm square. This is stress in element 1. Next, stress in element 2. For element 2, we have the formula sigma 2 is equal to E2 by L2 minus 1 1 Q2 Q3. Why Q2 Q3? Because the element 2, the starting node is 2, end node is 3. Therefore, corresponding displacement Q2 and Q3. Substitute the values. E2 it is 200 into 10 power 3, length is 75 minus 1 1, Q2 is 5 into 10 power minus 3, Q3 is minus 0.015. If you simplify this, we will get sigma 2 is equal to 53.33 Newton per mm square. This is stress in element 2. Next, stress in element 3. For element 3, we have stress sigma 3 is equal to E3 by L3 minus 1 1 Q3 Q4. Why here Q3 Q4? Because element 3 connects node number 3 and 4. The corresponding displacement is Q3 and Q4. That's why I have taken Q3 and Q4 for element 3. Now apply the given value. E3 it is 200 into 10 power 3 divided by length is 60 minus 1 Q3 it is minus 0.015 and Q4 is 0. If you simplify this, we will get sigma 3, that is stress in element 3, equal to 50 Newton per mm square. This is the stress in element 3. So next is support reaction. Support reaction. The formula is R is equal to K into Q minus F. See the figure, we have support at node number 1 and support at node number 4. That's why you have to find out the corresponding support reaction R1 and R4. We don't need R2 and R3. We need only R1 and R4. If we find R2 and R3, we will get 0. Because here there are no supports. We will get the support reaction only at the supports, that is R1 and R4. So R1 is equal to K11 Q1 plus K12 Q2 plus K13 Q3 plus K14 Q4 minus F1. If we substitute all the values and simplify, we will get R1 is equal to minus 2000 Newton. This is R1, that is support reaction at node number 1. Next we need support reaction at node number 4, that is R4. R4 is equal to K41 Q1 plus K42 Q2 plus K43 Q3 plus K44 Q4 minus F4. Substitute all the values and simplify, we will get R4 is equal to 12,000 Newton. This is the support reaction at node number 4. Thank you.